Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to be discussing the entire history of Titan, the submersible that recently imploded, originally built in 2018, owned by OceanGate, with the capacity to seat up to 5 people, including 1 pilot, 1 technical expert, and 3 passengers. We're going to go through the making of it in 2018 all the way until the implosion. So Titan was previously called Cyclops 2. It was the first privately owned submersible with a claimed maximum depth of 4,000 meters or 13,000 feet, and the first completed crewed submersible with a hull constructed of titanium and carbon fiber materials. After testing with dives to its maximum intended depth in 2018 and 2019, the original composite hull of Titan developed fatigue and damage and was replaced by 2021. Remember, the timeline is Stockton Rush received a lot of warnings in 2018 and 2019 by submersible experts, so he completely changed the hull, but it was still done with carbon fiber. That same year, OceanGate began transporting paying customers to the wreck of the Titanic, completing several dives to the wreck in 2021 and 2022. And in the first dive of 2023 was when the implosion happened. So we're going to go through some of the features of it. OceanGate began developing a composite carbon fiber and titanium hulled submersible in collaboration with the University of Washington's Physics Laboratory in 2013. So this submersible goes back, its original development in 2013, and the original name was Cyclops 2. The first titanium structural components were ordered in December of 2016. And OceanGate signed a contract with Spencer Composites in January of 2017 for the carbon composite cylinder. In March of 2018, Cyclops 2 was renamed to Titan, and Stockton Rush described it as, quote, an amazing engineering feat during the original launch in 2018. The Marine Technology Society's committee drafted a private letter to Stockton Rush in March of 2018 expressing concerns with the design of Titan and urging him to have the ship classified, partially because the marketing of the submersible, which stated it would meet or exceed the standards of DNV, was misleading because OceanGate had no intentions to have the vehicle tested by DNV. Although the letter was not sent, the chair of committee said he had a frank conversation with Rush, following which they agreed to disagree. In 2019, OceanGate published a blog post explaining why Titan was not classed. In the post, OceanGate said the vast majority of marine and aviation accidents are a result of operator error, not mechanical failure, and argued that classification focused solely on the physical state of the vessel and not its corporate actions. A journalist who participated in an OceanGate dive in 2022 noted that Titan was not equipped with an emergency locator beacon. During his expedition, the surface support vessel lost track of Titan for about 5 hours, and adding such a beacon was discussed. Now, when it comes to the 2023 fatal dive, I was reading something. They lost track an hour 45 into the dive, but apparently this was kind of common for Titan to lose contact for longer periods of time. So originally they just thought it was standard and they were going to have to abort the dive down to Titanic because they made it like 3/4 of the way down there. And if you lose contact, you immediately come back up. That's what they originally thought, because it happened a few different times where Titan would lose communication. In April 2019, OceanGate announced that a crew of 4 had set a record by descending in Titan to almost 4,000 meters. Carl Stanley, who had participated in the April 2019 dive alongside Rush, later sent an email to Rush stating his concerns with loud cracking noises they had experienced during the dive. In Stanley's opinion, the noises were associated with a potential flaw, defect in one area being acted on by the tremendous pressure and being crushed or damaged. In other words, he felt an area of the hull was breaking down as they were going down with more and more pressure added to it. They did have Titanic dives planned in 2020, but they were delayed until 2021 due to the pandemic. And OceanGate in the year 2021 organized 5 dives down to the Titanic. During one unsuccessful dive in 2021, Titan became stuck at the bottom of the ocean for at least 4 hours because of mechanical problems and was unable to ascend to the surface and unable to reach the Titanic wreckage. Passengers aboard this dive spent 20 hours inside Titan before they reached the surface and were able to get out of the submersible. So that is the first year of them going down to see the Titanic. The Titan loses contact, is stuck at the bottom of the ocean, but they don't even see the Titanic, and it takes 20 total hours inside the very small submersible to be raised back up. The more research you do into this thing, the more unbelievable it is that billionaires actually agreed to go on this. I mean, even just a little bit of research, this was a complete shot in the dark. In 2022, OceanGate again organized 5 Titanic dives. A passenger that reached the Titanic aboard the Titan in July of 2022 documented the experience on his YouTube channel. He described his dives as one of the more successful ones, as the vessel was able to quickly navigate the Titanic wreckage and spend 4 hours exploring it. There were several dives in 2022 that were outright canceled due to the weather, and in 2023, 2 more dives, the first 2 dives of the year in May, both were canceled due to choppy water, and that brings us to the implosion that happened in mid-June. So, in reading the full history of Titan and all of the concerns, it is shocking that people actually went on this thing. It had like 8 or 9 total successful dives. It was a 50-50 chance with the weather it was even going to make it down. It had an issue in 2021 where they were stuck at the bottom. They couldn't reach the Titanic, but they also couldn't come back up. You're stuck at the bottom of the ocean in the pitch black for 4 hours, and you've got billionaires agreeing to go on this. It is absolutely remarkable. It's got nothing to do with the money because if you're a billionaire, that's chunk change, but it is pretty crazy. And then the implosion happens, the official date of that, June 18, 2023. We expect the main culprit, the carbon fiber hull, that many different people warned was going to be a problem. So in looking at Titan's history, from its original build back in 2018, they wanted to have the first dives in 2020. It was delayed until 2021. They planned 5 dives in 2021, 5 dives in 2022. Some of them are successful, some of them are not. And in 2023, the first official dive after 2 were delayed, it happens. Really not a lot of history, and this definitely seems like a situation with Titan where it was only a matter of time. And it is sad to say that, but just looking back on this and seeing all of the red flags, the different design to try and accommodate 1 or 2 extra tourists to make more money or whatever you want to call it, that you're going to sacrifice something there. The only submersible that could dive that deep, that had that much room to house 5 people, 1 pilot, 1 expert. This is kind of how they did it. They would have Stockton Rush, they would have a Titanic expert, and then they would want 3 tourists. That's where they would make their money if they charge around $200K or $250K. That's how they make their money off the 3 tourists, as opposed to, having a submersible that only seats 3 people. You would make virtually a third of the money. So Titan was originally completed in 2018, renamed from the Cyclops 2. Its hull was replaced after numerous experts complained about it. The issue is it was replaced once again with carbon fiber, and then the implosion happens after a few successful dives in 2021 and 2022. The first dive of 2023 is when the implosion happened after 2 dives got delayed in May. So guys, that is the full history of Titan. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.